Think you know all about distracted driving. Think again. Your eyes are on the road, your hands on the wheel, but your brain isn't geared on driving. So when you're looking at something straight in front of you, you should be able to see it. But you don't. It's just like having tunnel vision behind the wheel. It's because you are cognitively distracted. AAA and the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety partnered with mental distraction expert Dr. David Strayer and his team at the University of Utah to undertake a landmark research project that challenges the current mindset about distracted driving. Building upon previous visual and manual distraction research and 5 decades of aviation psychology looking at pilot distraction, this groundbreaking study focuses on mental distractions, also known as cognitive distraction. Using brain-based metrics, driving simulators, and a first-of-its-kind instrumented vehicle, participants were studied as they engaged in various non-driving behaviors, from listening to the radio or talking on a mobile phone to using voice-activated dashboard apps. With these findings, researchers developed a ranking order for distraction similar to the 5-category rating system used for hurricanes. The study offers evidence that you're not necessarily safer just because your eyes are on the road and your hands on the wheel if your brain isn't geared on driving.
When you're driving down the road, the world is full of all of this visual information, and we have this illusion that we're attending to everything.
People drive thousands of miles every day. We're behind the wheel for hours. And a lot of times we try and alleviate boredom by trying to do all these other kinds of activities. As a consequence of that, we don't actually give driving due diligence in terms of what our responsibilities are to operate a very heavy, expensive piece of equipment without causing harm.
Yeah, I consider myself a good driver. I mean, I don't know if other people do, but I do.
Yes, I would consider myself a good driver. Have the music up. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got this, guys. I know the roads. I know where I'm at. That's fine.
People don't even know if they're distracted or not.
Most people can't be above average drivers. It's just statistically impossible.
So there's this notion that if our eyes are on the road and our hands are on the wheel, then we're safe drivers. So we wanted to kind of challenge that notion and begin to explore that notion.
The most significant thing about this research is that it focuses specifically on cognitive distraction, which is often ignored.
It's the types of attention diversions that are all in your head.
You're looking at it, you're looking straight ahead. You should be able to see it, but you're not.
Sometimes I know that I get caught off guard.
My last speeding ticket was in school zone.
I'm too close to the car in front of me, or I didn't see the red light coming.
So I've gotten in a couple fender benders, and I had a couple friends in the car.
It's kind of hard to say. I guess we're all kind of distracted.
The research team used a multitude of measures to unlock the secret to what really happens inside the brain of a driver who is cognitively distracted.
Okay, so this is our participant, Josh. He's going to be getting an EEG cap on him today.
Using a special EEG-configured skull cap with electrodes, the participant's brain activity was analyzed to determine mental focus levels.
And then go ahead and with your eyes, I want you to look left and right. These are your eye channels, and we can tell when you start to not scan anymore as you're driving and as you become more distracted.
Cameras mounted inside the vehicle were used to test the ability to see hazards in the driving environment by tracking eye and head movement.
So right now I'm getting that light task up and started here.
This light task, a state-of-the-art detection response task, or DRT, was utilized to record reaction time. Drivers were to ignore the red light and then trigger a switch when presented with the green light.
And a horrible scene met his eyes.
But what we're doing in this study that's unique is we're taking 8 different tasks and we're measuring driver behavior, driver performance while people are doing these very different tasks in a way that hasn't been done before.
Plus 4 equals 8.
When we're doing the studies, if the green light comes on and people don't respond to it because they haven't seen it, that's a potential hazard.
It's really kind of a surrogate for the types of visual information that people are missing all the time in the driving environment.
Yeah, like last night I was at the park,
Just to let you know, you did miss a couple of the lights, just even sitting here driving, only listening to an audiobook.
When people engage in more and more difficult tasks, that they tend to miss more and more of those lights.
It could easily be a pedestrian, it could be another car, and so those misses are extremely problematic.
Rather than trying to anticipate the environment, they may not scan for the threat of a pedestrian in a crosswalk, but respond when that pedestrian does appear, if they do indeed see that pedestrian.
And we thought, well, let's just try and develop a system that's very intuitive and to understand about how severe something is. People are familiar with a Category 5 hurricane. They know that's a real high level of destructive force. Likewise, a Category 5 level of distraction is something that really has a lot of hazards.
Times 4 minus 5 equals 18.
Yes. Oh, there's a stop sign. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Wait for them to go.
Okay,
so we have her on
them.
screen.
Okay.
So you can see her horizontal eye movements here. And when she's driving straight, she's not scanning as much as when she's doing single task driving.
This is a great picture. Reply to this email to comment.
Reply. Thanks, Tyler. It was so much fun. We'll definitely have to do it again. Send. Next message.
We found that interacting with the speech-to-text system delayed response time to the DRT device more than any of the other conditions.
I think it suggests that trying to understand cognitive distraction really does require kind of a scientific effort, and that just using intuitions isn't necessarily sufficient.
Well, after this experience, my thoughts on being preoccupied and distracted while driving have completely skyrocketed. Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't know about the brain activity with that, just because I thought I was a good driver. And then getting in that car and actually realizing how much I wasn't paying attention when I was trying that was a little bit scary.
There's not really a difference, and I'm making that many mistakes when I think that I'm competent in what I'm doing, that I'm assuming most people will do the same thing. So it's got to be a dangerous situation.
To the extent that you think distracted driving is a problem now, we expect that it's likely to get much worse with the kinds of things that are coming down the road, so to speak. The science will also help guide some public policy so that we don't design technology that goes into cars that would be unsafe to use. I'm hopeful that as this dialogue progresses, we start to actually say that, you know what, we need to reel in some of these behaviors that are just unsafe and not become totally driven by whatever device is ringing or shining or kind of trying to compete with attention. Some combination of legislation, education, and personal responsibility is really what's necessary in order to really get people to have a safe driving culture.